welcome back to StarrSoap's channel. How are you today? I'm doing good. StarrSoaps is here in the Taranaki, and even though I'm about to participate in a fall collaboration, we're coming into summer. That's right. Let me show you. Look out there. Sorry about the dirty window. It is not spring, but it is very, very close to spring here in Taranaki. So what we're going to do today is we're going to celebrate the fall that we had a while back. While you guys in America and Canada are coming into fall, that's right, we're upside down. So today's fall soap is going to be a classic star soap. For those stars of you that have been tuning in all these years, you are familiar with pumpkin chai soap. It is a really great fall soap, but it's also really good all year round. It is a delicious, warm, spicy scent with real pumpkin puree and a very special topper that I hand mold out of my soap dough. Squee! So this collaboration was put together by a wonderful lady named Renee Cormelis. I do hope I'm saying that right. And she has put together a wonderful group of us. There's about 40 or 50 of us now. There was only a few to begin with, and I was one of the founding members. But yes, so now we are all getting together and making these collaboration soaps, and it's really wonderful to feel a part of a community of soap makers when I'm all the way over here in little old New Zealand down under. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go out to the soap room here and make some fall soap, some pumpkin chai star soap. That's right. So if you'd like to learn how to make it, start by hitting that subscribe button. Have you been living under a rock? And then follow on with us and I'll show you how we make it. Squee!
Okay. So the first thing we need to do is add our cooled lye water to our cooled oils, and never the other way around. I'm straining out my lye water because of that pesky mulberry silk, but it also adds a lovely luxury part to the soap, so hey, it's worth it. Now that I've finished straining that out, I can bring my soap to a light trace, or as we soapers call it, emulsification. That means the soap isn't going to be thick and creamy like custard yet. It's going to be thin and will allow us a bit of working time to mix our colours and fragrance in before we go ahead and put it all in the mould. This soap is an extra special soap because I'm making it for the fall collaboration with my awesome fellow soapy YouTubers. And I really love being part of this group and doing collaboration videos with you because I love to see how we all interpret these things differently. And we all have different favourite scents for the summer and favourite scents for fall. I definitely love this pumpkin chai scent that I'm using in this soap, but once this bottle runs out, there's no more. That's right. The place I used to get it from has discontinued the scent, so I'm going to have to work with some other chai scents and of course keep adding in the pumpkin so that we've got the pumpkin part of it in there. For this video I've got an extra special bit of footage for you at the end, and I really want you to hang in there for it, okay guys? I've had several requests to add this into this type of video, and I finally thought, because I'm doing this for the collaboration and because I really, really want to keep you all very happy, I thought I will go ahead and include the footage of me, drumroll please, making the little tiny pumpkins on top out of soap dough. That's right, stay tuned and you will see me making the groovy little pumpkins that I use as toppers in this amazing soap. Now I've got my soap at a light trace. As you can see, it's watery, but you can also see that it looks like it wants to get thick quick, so I better hurry up and move. Once I add my pumpkin puree into my soap batter, it will thin things down again a little bit because I've done a water discount in order to add the pumpkin puree. I've never been very good at maths, but I must admit that soap making has really taught me to mind my numbers. If you make any mistakes like with the measurement part of your soap making, it can really cause you trouble. So it's caused me to learn more maths, and it's caused me to be more particular and very careful in my measurements, which helps me a lot when I'm baking as well. So that's kind of neat. In this jug, I've got pumpkin puree, and I'm going to add a lot of the soap batter in there because I want a lot of it to be with the pumpkin. In this jug, I've got a little bit of my mocha mica. That'll give us a nice dark accent colour when we go to swirl the soap. And in the other jug, I've got some titanium dioxide that was dispersed in water, and I've mixed that also as an accent colour so that we can have a groovy swirl in the soap. So I'm going to use my handy little frother, my little mini mixer here, just to mix that mocha mica into that soap. And I'm not going to colour the white, beg your pardon, I'm not going to fragrance the white part of the soap because I know that this pumpkin chai fragrance does discolour. It contains vanillin and it turns the soap brown. So I don't want my white soap to go brown. I want it to stay white so that it will stand out and make a beautiful swirl. So I'm not going to be adding any fragrance to that part. And I'm just going to be doing a very simple swirl. I don't want this soap to be too sort of frilly. It's more about the goodness. It's more about that beautiful pumpkin that you can see there. And I'm mixing that all together in the smaller jug and making sure that the pumpkin is completely incorporated. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour that back into my bigger jug and mix it again and make sure that I get all the pumpkin off the bottom. Quite often, no matter how well I mix, there'll be a little bit of pumpkin, pesky pumpkin, that stays right at the bottom. And you've got to get it all out. Remember the rules. Scrapey, scrapey. So now that we've got our soaps prepared, our different portions, we'll make sure that the pumpkin soap is well incorporated, and then it will be time to go ahead and pour this delicious soap in the mould.
Call yourself a friend of mine. I know you are. And whenever the world gets hard for you, I'm your shining star. Try to lift your head up high and carry on. Others may ask you why, but they'll be wrong. You can live on. I'll never understand why you took your life in your own hands. These years I would rewind, but I'm leaving it all behind. Leaving it all behind. took your life in your own hands. Call yourself a friend of mine. I know you are. And whenever the world gets hard for you, I'm your shining star. Try to lift your head up high and carry on. Others may ask you why, but they'll be wrong. You can live on. I'll never understand why you took your life in your own hands. These years I would rewind, but I'm leaving it all behind. Leaving it all behind. Call yourself a lover true. It's in what you do. And whenever things get heavy or hard, I'm with you. And I'll never understand what made you take your life in your own hands. These years I would rewind, but I'm leaving it all behind. All behind. Leaving it all behind. Call yourself my soulmate. We met by fate, and I know you look down on me, and I need you to be, and I need you for me. But I don't understand why you took your life in your own hands.
With our soap loaves full, I have done a hanger swirl inside, and now I'm going to pour a little bit of each accent colour along the very top of the loaf so I can come back and do a really pretty swirl. I'm going to try to do a nonpareil swirl. So I'll start by going back and forth and make a very thin, tight mantra swirl across the top. Then I will make sure that my skewer is clean and come back through lengthways, going one direction from the bottom to the top, and then wipe the skewer and repeat until I have a beautiful nonpareil design. This is something I have always loved trying to do with my soap, whenever I am putting dollops on top or extra toppers on top, and I know that I probably shouldn't bother doing this because it's just going to be covered up with something else, I can never help myself. I still want to get arty with it and play around and do swirls with the soap. When you get to the place that I'm at, where you know how to keep the soap, well, mostly you know how to keep the soap at the fine trace so that you can do what you want to do. It's really neat to be able to come through and do these swirls and feel like a real artist. So now I'm going to start the nonpareil design from the base, like I said, going all the way along the length of the mold. Then I wipe my skewer so that it's clean to start the next one and come back through. And it makes a really beautiful, mesmerizing swirl on the top of the soap. So I could absolutely leave it like this, but I went to a lot of trouble to hand make some teeny tiny soap pumpkins. So I'm afraid they're going to go on top and cover up the swirl. I know, right? So I just want to take a moment while I'm swirling the soap to give a shout out to all the other collaborators in the group. There have been a lot of things going on. I mean, there are over 40 of us, so that's a lot of people and a lot of things happen and life happens. And some of our members have been unwell or had personal problems that have meant they've not been able to participate in this fall collaboration. And it's sad. And there's also been people who have tried and failed to make their videos, whether their cameras have failed them or their memories or whether the soap itself has failed them and they just weren't happy with it. So that's kind of been a shame. There's been a few people that wanted to get a video out and haven't been able to. On the whole, if you're interested, there should be about 40 different videos of soaps celebrating the fall coming your way, and they won't all be pumpkin-y, so I do recommend you check them out. And all you have to do is just search Fall Soap Collaboration 2019. You should be able to find us. We have all put something about that in our title. Something about the fall collaboration will be in each soap title. And as you start watching them, the other ones come up in the recommended. And so you can just go on a huge binge and watch many, many, many soap making videos. So as you can see with my pumpkins here, we've got two different shades. That's because I made these pumpkins from two different batches of pumpkin chai. But what I'm doing in this batch is saving back enough to make enough pumpkins for the future batch of pumpkin chai soap. So I'm always thinking ahead. It sits overnight. And here we are back again to cut the soap. I'm quite excited to see how that swirl came out because I didn't do very much. I tried to keep it as a very simple swirl. Like I said before, I don't want this to have too many bells and whistles. It's more important that you see the beautiful pumpkin and the lovely, delicious soap.
Call yourself a friend of mine. I know you are. And whenever the world gets myself a lover true. It's in what you do.
Wow, for a simple swirl we got some pretty groovy patterns there, didn't we? Talk about your ink blot. And look how bright orange that soap looks. The pumpkin truly did impart a lot of colour. There's no colourant in there, just pumpkin, and it's made it so bright orange. And then we've got this lovely little end bar. So now we're going to jump in a few seconds to a month later and check out how it looks at the end of its cure. It's ready to be wrapped now, but it hasn't like fully just darkened all the way. There's just like a dark edge, and then it's sort of lighter on the inside, and you can see it on the side of the bar as well. There's a definite border of discoloration, and then the centre is still quite orangey. They smell fantastic, guys. So now we're going to have to jump forwards into some soap dough making. That's right, we're jumping all over the place in this video. The pumpkin chai soap wouldn't be so unique if it didn't have those beautiful handmade toppers. To make them, I just looked up a video on YouTube on how to make pumpkins out of polymer clay. I watched a lady make some little pumpkin thingies that she then put onto a key ring, and they were totally adorable and really quite easy to make. So I grated up some soap like you can see me doing now. I smushed it all together into a dough consistency, and then I went ahead and made some little pumpkin shapes. It turned out so cool, and this was about 3 years ago now, that I immediately made some pumpkin shaped bath treats. They were bubble bars, scented in pumpkin chai as well, and they were the same concept but bigger, you know, the size of a bubble bar, and they were really popular as well. A lot of people didn't even know what the heck they were when they saw them at markets. I ended up making some oranges as well and some peaches. It was a really fun experience, but unfortunately people in my small town here in Stratford didn't really know what a bubble bar was, and they didn't recognise what these things were, so they didn't really sell, and therefore I didn't really make them again, which was kind of a shame because it was a lot of fun. Maybe people will start to learn more about bubble bars now that everybody's getting on the no plastic movement. Speaking of the no plastic movement, have you noticed any changes in your town? I have. At our local supermarket now, you have to bring your own bag. If you don't bring a bag, you literally have to carry your groceries out one by hand and put them in your car. They will not give you a plastic bag. They are banning them here in New Zealand. So what are you guys doing as soap and cosmetic makers to get on board the no plastic movement? I've been finding that a little bit difficult. I've always shrink wrapped my products, and that's plastic, so I've been trying to think of a different way around it. I know that some of the options out there are to simply leave your soap unwrapped and put a cigar band around it, or you could have a soap box that you put it in, or you could use organza bags and put the soap straight into one of those. My main concern about not wrapping them in plastic is that the scent is going to fade quicker. I just know that. When I wrap them up in the shrink wrap, it seems to really protect the scent. And sometimes that doesn't work in my favour either, when people want to smell the soap and they can't smell it through the plastic. But it means that sometimes 6 months down the line after making and wrapping the soap, it still smells as fresh as the day I first wrapped it. And that is really a big pro to me. So let me know in the comments below what you think you guys are going to do, and let me know about the changes that are happening around you. I really want to get on board the no plastic movement, so any tips or tricks that you have for me would be greatly appreciated. I really love hand making soaps, and one of the reasons I got into doing all of this is to reduce waste, so I'm totally keen to keep on reducing the waste. So what we're up to right now is we've made the soap dough, we've rolled it out into a big even log, cut it up into 9 separate portions, and now cut it all again into 18 separate portions. My loaf makes 9 bars of soap, so for a double batch I need 18 little tiny pumpkins. Now it's time to form them. So the first thing I do is I basically just make a little puck shape with slightly rounded edges. If I make a perfectly round ball, it doesn't quite look right. So I tend to make it like a bit of a flat puck, but with softened, rounded edges. I had a little bit too much soap in that portion, and I want all of the pumpkins to be roughly the same size. So I just pinched a little bit off, and I've kept it to one side because I'm going to colour it with some mocha mica to make the little tiny stem that you see in the very top of the pumpkin. So I'm going to go ahead now and show you how I form my little pumpkins. And I hope that you enjoy it, and I do hope you give it a try. If you give it a try and you like it and you make something you're really proud of, then please come and join our group over on Facebook called StarrSoapy Family and share your picture with us, because I love to see your creations. So here's that little tiny bit of mocha mica getting mixed in. It's messy business, but it makes a nice swirly little piece of soap dough there that I'll now have to cut into 18 very tiny little pieces and form 18 very tiny little stems for my 18 little pumpkins. It's time to go ahead and shape the pumpkin now. I start by forming a little sort of dot in the center just to help me to remember right where the middle is. And then I just sort of gently press my skewer and roll it down the edge, which creates the little fluted edges that a pumpkin has. Then I go back down the middle and make sure that that hole is opened up a little bit, enough for me to fit my little tiny stem into. I just roll my stem out and then plop it in. Simple. And now I'm going to have to go ahead and do it 18 times.
Call yourself a friend of mine. I know you are. And whenever the world gets hard for you,
The finished pumpkins are super adorable. They don't take too much work, and they really do add something unique to the top of your soap. I'm now just going to add a little bit of extra zhuzh by putting them into a mixture of copper and gold mica. And I'm just giving that a little shake around to coat them all. And they really do look quite amazing after they've been coated in mica. There's lots of different ways you can do this. You could put a little bit of mica on a paintbrush and paint it onto them, or you could put them into a little Ziploc bag with the mica and then gently shake it around. I just chose to put them into this container because that's where I'll be storing them until I next need to make a double batch of pumpkin chai. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, guys. If you liked it and you want to, hit that subscribe button down below. And remember to feel the soapy love. Don't forget to check out all the other collaboration videos and feel that fall inspiration. Alright, I'll see you all next time.